So here, me and Lucy are going to answer probably one of the number one most asked questions that both of us get, and that is, what do I put inside of her bags? So what's inside that bag? And what's inside that bag? I guess I'll start off to let you guys know that I guess the first thing we have on here is a little light. So it can go solid or it can blink. So in dark restaurants or something like that, we can always make sure that people know she's there so they don't trip over, which has happened once. The second thing is I have some little like service dog IDs on there for her, and a little her picture and her not current city. So I guess I'll start off with the bag that's got the IDs on it. Normally the bag that has the IDs on it is normally the one that I put my medications on. The reason I do it that way is so that it's kind of an identifying signal to me in case I forget, hey, numbnuts, this is where your meds are. So in the very top pocket, this guy here, I have comb, always good to have for your hair. The next thing that I have is dog treats. So I have a bag of soft treats and a bag of little hard treats in there. So I probably carry about 10 of the soft ones and about 5 of the hard ones for her to kind of chew on. Yes, those are yours. Yes, those wafers. Alright, so that's that pocket there. The first thing I have. The bottom pocket, which I don't know if y'all can see there, is the bottom pocket here. Normally on the bottom pocket, I normally put in there some of the little ADA cards I have. It goes that way. So some of those for people that more or less, entrance disputes, or people that want to know more about service dogs. So, I have a pretty good amount in there. It basically just kind of let people know what they can ask, what they can't ask of the service dog team, and some of the legality around it as well. So I normally keep those inside there. As for the large pocket here, as you can kind of see in there, it's a pretty big pocket. Normally in the very back where the water, sometimes I put water bottles in there, not a lot of the times, but sometimes there's water in there. I keep this dish in there. This is normally her food dish, so it's the one that is not as waterproof, but it does work for water as well, but I prefer it for her food. In the days that we go for long working days, I normally will bring a little bit of her food with her so I can put it inside that dish so it doesn't have to be waterproof. What in the world is this thing? This would be, so I normally carry inside the bags a little bit of her paperwork, more or less. So I carry, which these here are, this is her stay certificate that I keep in there, and I keep her proof of rabies vaccine in there, which would be that one, and then proof of all for other vaccines that she's actually had. So all those are here for her paperwork. The other thing that I carry in here is the paperwork from my therapist for her. So I have kind of that one there that has more of the disability side of it for things like the TSA, because I've heard they are able to ask. I've also heard they're not able to ask me for paperwork, so I really don't know, so I just do it out of the way. The other thing that I have is the dumbed down version of the exact same card. The dumbed down version doesn't actually write any of my disabilities, so if somebody's absolutely adamant that they have to have paperwork for Lucy in order for me to go in their business, I just kind of got so over dealing with it and trying to educate them. They refused to be educated, so I just didn't care anymore. So I'm like, you know what? I got this done. That basically is like, it's the idiot version of the thirst card. So I had these shrunk into a postcard size instead of having to take these out, which are the exact same thing. So there's the idiot version. It's just on a full sheet of paper. And then of course the more specific version. So to take these out would take me a lot more time versus just grabbing these out, and I've got, you know, 3 little postcard shaped cards of the exact same item. So there's those. I said the other thing I carry in here are medications. So, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then of course normally in here I have more 2 bags than this, so I have to, you know, replenish it a little bit, but I normally keep some of these in here as well for her. Yes, Lucy. I have that. That'd be my stupid phone going on. So now I gotta pack all these back in here. That way I don't lose any of them. Knowing me, I would. Put those in there. Alright. So. Off to the other side. The other side does not actually have the service dog things on it normally for me. And when it tells me there's stuff in it I don't really need as much. Well, I do actually need it, but not as much, not as important as the medications. So like I said, in the top pocket here, in the very, very top here, I have more dog treats. So I have another 10 soft treats and another 5 soft, hard treats for Lucy. In the event that we're out for a longer day, which is, since tomorrow we actually are going to be on a longer day, it's good to have. This would be one of the SGI Duck. I think these are the Duck Markers. But they have a couple of good little excerpts on the back to read that I kind of like to keep in here just for inspiration purposes. Kind of if I'm having a rough day or something, I'll kind of grab those out and read them a little bit. Give me like a little bit of a boost. In the bottom pocket again, I think in here, last time I checked, yeah, I have the same thing on the same side, so that way it kind of keeps it consistent so I don't forget where everything is. But the same exact little cards, I have another good amount of them in there, so the same amount that's in the other side, because I want to make sure that the same weight that's here is the same weight that's in here. A lot of the times what I'll end up doing is I'll end up putting quarters in there to balance the weight out to, you know, like I said, I'll balance the weight out to a gram, so there's literally absolutely no difference between this bag and this bag. So all the pins are put in the right spot, so that way all the pins weigh the same as the other side. So that's what I do with that. In the bigger pocket here, I have the water dish that I use. So I have a little, I think it's called Kurgo. It's like a rubbery type dish. I can kind of fold it, but it folds in, so it goes about that wide, so it slides in. And then all you gotta do to use it is you pop it out, and it works. A little water dish. So it's all rubber, so that the water never comes out. You know, I can sit there and leave this in there for an hour and it won't come out, and then just to kind of get it to go back in, you just literally fold it back up again and it fits right in there. So I love this thing. This thing's great. So I have that in there. Only problem is it does tend to stick to the wall of the bag here. In the rest of the bag, however, I have, you know, wallet. So all the junk inside the wallet there, it's in there. The other thing that I keep in here is my Buddhist stuff. So I carry my Buddhist beads in here. And of course, you know, again, the motto of the SGI, you know, never give up. It's also one of my mottos, to never give up. So it's always kind of nice to see that. All I gotta do is look at my bag and I can kind of see something for inspiration. So it's always nice. Like I said, you know, they have the Buddhist beads that are in there, so they stay in there. So that way they're nice and safe and they're nice and clean. I'll put those back in there. The other thing I have is I have the 2 books with the Lotus Sutra, and you know, when we chant, I have these 2 in here. This one here needs a little bit more to me, just because it was the first one that I ever got, so it was actually kind of reminds me of where I started. It's like I have on here, you know, one of the guys that actually wrote on there that you know, because I was wondering why we were just chanting Myoho Renge Kyo versus we we're actually chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. So he wrote that in there so I wouldn't forget, which, like I said, it's the first one I ever got. So this one, when I first started practicing, this was the book that I used. So this one means a lot to me, so I keep it in there. And then, of course, a Nender, who actually met me at the Friendship Center, she gave me this one, which is, I almost think it's leather, kind of, but it's actually like a really nice, upgraded version of the same book. It's the exact same thing. It all says the exact same stuff in it. It's just a nicer version. The reason why I keep this one in here is, I don't know if you guys can really see that very well, but it actually has some writing in there, you know, from when she met me. So I think it's really cool. Half the time I can't really read it. But I think it just says, Louis Othello Gakai, disabled Nender, enjoy all your, I think that says moments. Something, something, I will always, something. I do remember what it says, but I don't actually, can't really read it that well. But yes, I keep this in there as well, which is always kind of nice. So the two little water bottles that sometimes I'll put in her bags, depending on where we're going, if there's no access to water. Like I can't walk up to someone and say, hey, can you give me this? You know, if we're going hiking or something like that, a lot of the times I'll bring two little water bottles, and I'll see if I can go get them actually. You stay there. Wait. Yes, these are the two little water bottles I have. Roughwear actually gave me some water bottles that actually went in these things, but they didn't work out that well. I ended up putting them in the refrigerator to cool them down, and we'll just go with they exploded in my refrigerator, and my refrigerator was leaking when I got to it. So these things are actually really great. I think I've bought them on Amazon. They have Vapor or Vapor, I don't know how the hell you say it. But they're really neat, so if it ever gets too heavy, normally I'll just take them out of her bag and I'll just kind of grab that and I'll clip them in my belt or in my pants, and then I'll carry them for her. But normally me and her drink so much so quick that they're not even in there for that long. So there's a separate pocket inside the bags that has it for water, so it's kind of waterproof. But the good thing about the water is that it actually sits right up along the gray wall in there. So essentially when I put this on top of Lucy, you know, when I cool down the water actually sits right up along her chest. So then what that'll do is it'll actually cool her down a little bit better. So I kind of like the water because it does that. So it does both of those things. So essentially, that's what I put in Lucy's bag. Thank you for watching our little video, even though Lucy's kind of tired because we got a long day at work tomorrow. We have to go to a Dudes meeting tomorrow, and then we have to, well, we don't have to, but we're going to a fun little thing with our friends, do some go-karting. So I've got her sleeping a lot today to rest up for that. But thank you for watching our little video. I hope you enjoyed it. Any other questions that you might have, go ahead and comment on the video on Lucy's Facebook page, and we will hopefully